All righty. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of the Rock and Roll Geezers show. We're heading into our second 100 right now, so very excited about that. Thanks for joining us. 101 shows right here. And of course, we're your rock for outlet for rock news and all that good crazy stuff going on, and it never ceases to amaze us, quite honestly. Here we are, first day of spring, and boy, the craziness has sprung. If I may send it over to my co-host there, Doc Fox. What do you think about that, Doc?
Yes. Thanks everybody for checking in. So glad that you did.
Hmm.
Like every week, a whole nother batch
Yeah.
of rock and roll news. So yeah, starting episode 101. Last episode was really good. If you haven't seen that, go check that out, episode 100. And yeah, we just like always, just find stories from the rock world that we think you'll find of interest. And this week is no obsession. We got an update on the Neil Young Spotify situation. South by Southwest Festival down there in Austin, they're having
Mm,
some troubles.
mm.
A couple odd pairings we want to get into, but first, last week we were fresh off the heels of the Oscars the night before,
Yeah.
and we didn't talk about it, but they had a rock and roll connection.
Yes, indeed. Sean Lennon, son of legendary Beatles John Lennon and Yoko Ono. But yeah, he won an award. Him and a few other folks won an award in the Academy Award for Best Short Film Animated for The War Is Over. And it's inspired by the music of John and Yoko. Ugh. So
I
wow, how
hope it's
about
more John than Yoko's music, quite honest.
I would hope so. Yeah,
I
yeah. Boy, oh
also,
boy.
I think everybody does, yeah.
But it was basically Mother's Day too when this happened. So he jumped onto the mic there. He said, "Thank you. I just wanted to quickly say my mother turned 91 this February, and today is Mother's Day in the UK. So could everyone please say Happy Mother's Day, Yoko?" Sean asked the audience who happy obliged. Thank you so much, so much. They should have asked him to, sing in Yoko style, a happy
No,
birthday
nobody's
to.
gonna ask for that.
Oh,
Nobody,
come on. Ma, we're gonna sing it in your style. Happy birthday to you. But no, no, they didn't do that.
nobody would know how to do it. They'd all just start randomly screaming and yelling it.
But yeah, so well, how about that, man?
So yeah,
Well,
Beatles at the Oscars.
another
Yeah, it's kind of
Beatles.
weird. I didn't know the UK had a different Mother's Day. I didn't. I guess I never thought about it.
I don't know.
But
I have never heard of that, but yeah,
yeah,
man, oh man. And the other guy who was involved with a guy named David Mullins. It's an 11-minute animated film. It's an anti-war story that showcases John and Yoko's iconic holiday song, "Happy Christmas." A war is over, and
right.
it's set in an alternate World War One reality where a senseless war rages on. Yeah, doesn't that sound? Hmm. Two soldiers on opposite sides of the conflict play a game of chess.
Right.
You know?
As a tale old as time, my bro.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hendrix said it, machine gun, Evil man wants me to shoot you. Evil man wants you to shoot me, even though we're only families apart. Yeah. So, and here we are in the midst of war again. War all over the freaking world.
It never
So,
stops, dude. Never
Jiminy
ends.
creepers. Yeah, crying out loud. We had peace just a little bit ago, but things have really gone to hell now. And and Sean says, what he doesn't want is for his mother and father's work to disappear with the sands of time. And I guarantee him, his father's work's not going anywhere. That will,
Dude, that was my takeaway. Thinking about this, they are here. They are at the Oscars. The Beatles, and then they just won a Grammy. Remember for the video. So here they
uh,
are, 50 plus years after their breakup, and they're still winning these major. They're still, very much in the public in the zeitgeist. They're very much of reverence. So, just
mm.
speaks to their place in
Well, their longevity,
culture,
there
man.
will
Yeah,
always be there.
yeah.
Wow, just very cool. So how about that? Good for Sean. Why not? He looks cool too, right there.
Remember
God, he
this
looks
story on him a
so
while
much like
back,
his
and
father.
yeah.
Looks so much like the old man there. My gosh,
He
with
seems like
just
he's
a
got a pretty good head on his shoulders. Remember we did a story
actually,
on him
there
a
you
while
go.
back. Yeah.
Yes, yes,
Uh,
yes, he does. and he's just got a hint of Yoko in him. So from the looks
Yeah,
of that,
just
so
enough. Yeah.
just yeah, yeah, good for him. He's one of them other guys, doing a lot of actual good, trying to make a difference. So good for him.
You know,
We
I was
need.
thinking, and this I kind of a scary thought. Yoko Ono, most famous Japanese person in the world.
Mm, well, probably. Ooh,
Got to be right. I can't
well,
think of
I would
anybody
think
else.
so. Yeah, but
If
wow.
nobody else comes to mind, well, Jackie Chan maybe. I don't know,
Oh,
but Yoko
Japanese,
Ono
yeah,
probably, man.
yeah, yeah. I'll be darned. Maybe a wrestler, but probably not. But moving on. 'Cause, oh, Yoko, good for her. 91 years old, man. Longevity, baby. Here we go. Speaking of longevity, here's Ozzy. Oh, and there's Sharon right behind me there. Hi, Ozzy and Sharon. And they've had a biopic in the works. I did not know this. They had a biopic in the work for a while now, and it's still trudging along. You know, and apparently, they're having trouble getting the ball moving. And they talked about it on their podcast, the Ozzy podcast, and he says, by the time they finish the film, I'll be dead. I want to be alive to effing see it. So they're getting frustrated, and they're talking about who could play who, and there's a couple, so everything's still up in the air. But boy, they're looking at maybe starting to cast it now. And my God, who would you cast as Ozzy? This article I looked at says Kelly would like Bill Hader, but I can't see that unless he totally. Well, I don't
That
know.
dude can play it. He's got a pretty good
My God,
range,
yeah,
man. He can play a lot
I
of
was gonna
stuff,
say,
man.
I shouldn't count him out because yeah, you're right though. I especially love him in Tropic Thunder as Tom Cruise's kiss ass. That was the best. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see what goes on. But it's taking long, and why is it taking so long? They got the money to move the project on, so I don't get it. What it is,
These things just take time, I guess. No
the
matter how much money you
Untitled
put into
Project.
them.
Yeah, coming from Polygram Entertainment. Hey, we haven't heard Polygram in a while, and will follow a biopic format centering on their decades-long bond, one that explodes to the heights of pop culture with the flagship MTV reality series, The Osbournes. Oh boy,
Osborne, you sound like George W. Bush when he was talking about Osborne.
Osbournes,
The Osbournes.
Osbournes.
It's Ozzy Osbourne.
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever
Additionally,
saw that.
Sharon will have a producing role in the film, of course, along with her children, Jack and Amy. Amy's sticking her head in the thing here, and Jack's production
As a
company.
producer, she's very, just behind the
Fine.
scenes, just
Yeah.
kind
Yeah.
of,
Yeah.
you
Good
never
for
hear
her.
anything about her. She's got her own music thing going.
Because
So,
Kelly's like out of her mind now. If you've seen Kelly lately, you would not recognize her. She's had so much work done on her face.
yeah, she's,
It's like you could cut a block of cheese with that nose. There's such an edge on it. Wow, that's a good one. Okay. But yeah, so Sharon said in a statement, our relationship was often wild, insane, and dangerous, but it was our
oh,
undying
shit.
love that kept us together. We're thrilled to partner with Sony Pictures and Polygram to bring our story to the screen. Whatever. Jeez.
Well,
They're,
there's kind of two stories. There's Ozzy by himself, which is just a whole crazy, insane story. But then, yeah, there's the love story. I'm kind of sure they'll do it kind of like Walk the Line, Johnny Cash and June Carter do it along those lines. But
yeah. And if
yeah,
you seen a
yeah.
picture of them when they first got together, I mean, chubby faces
Oh
and they're
yeah,
both
yeah, yeah. She
young
was a
and
chunky
just
little thing. Yeah,
oh
yeah.
yeah, just it was amazing transformation. But yeah, Kelly's out of her mind. And Jack, but I think Jack did it the right way. He worked out and stuff and lost all that weight and now he's a stud with kids and stuff. So good for him.
Yeah, he's got like 5 kids. He may have had one since then. I know. He's been. Kelly just had a kid with the DJ from Slipknot or whatever.
Oh,
Yeah,
the clown. I think it
yeah.
was a
There's a big.
clown. She married
Yeah.
the clown. That's
No,
nice.
one of the guys that Slipknot. Yeah,
Yeah, no, it's
but
a
uh,
clown. Yeah, it is
but
definitely the clown.
one
But
thing. Here's another biopic. We bring these things up every week. We talked about it last week. Bon Scott one. We talk about them every week. I got a list here about 9 other ones of in the works here.
in the works.
Yeah. There's one on Scott Weiland
Ah,
in the works coming out.
okay.
Got one coming up through Netflix. They got a couple of them actually. One on a U2,
You
which that may
too.
be kind of interesting. They start out as kids, and hey, I mean, none of them can play anything, and hey, let's learn our instruments and be a band, and
Boom. Boom
pretty much became the
shakalaka.
biggest band in the world. And then
Ah,
Netflix got another one coming out on Kiss, which should be
oh yeah.
unbelievably interesting. As long as it's just not another Phantom of the Amusement Park.
Oh, come on, man. Classic
There's one
cinema.
coming out on Heart, the Heart Sisters,
Ah.
done by Carrie Brownstein of Portlandia and in the band Sleater
Oh,
Kinney
okay.
over there. So they're
Huh.
doing that one. There's one on Joey Ramone, and that's taken from the
Joey.
book I Slept with Joey Ramone. So it's kind of turning that into a movie. There's a
Huh.
Bob Dylan one coming out called
Yeah,
Bob
what's
Dylan
that?
Going Electric.
Talk about my name. Go electric guitar. All right. Way
And
to
then
go,
you got
Bob.
John and Yoko. That sounds probably gonna be another
Yeah.
Ozzy, Sharon, Johnny and June kind of thing. John and Yoko.
Her
And
rise
then
as
you
a
got
great
one
singer.
coming
Yeah.
out, Lemmy. You got one coming out
Let me.
on Lemmy
Now that ought to be
before
interesting.
Motorhead. It's all pre-Motorhead stuff, I
Oh,
guess.
Hawkwind kind of stuff.
So yeah, way back
Because when
starting
he was
out.
Hawkwind, he was actually a guitar player when he started out at Hawkwind, and
Right?
they changed to bass.
And then another one in the works, Boy George,
Ah,
which that could be interesting.
that was an
All of them are going to be
interesting.
interesting, or they
That
wouldn't
was an
make movies
interesting
about
era,
them.
especially at MTV era. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
that was bizarre,
So yeah,
bizarre
along with
music.
the we every week we seem to talk about one or two sometimes, and and then here I kind of looked into it, and here's a whole batch of them, man.
A
So
whole
yeah,
bunch. Well, there you
yeah.
go. Freaking A. Ah,
Seems to
well,
be quite the trend. I hope it doesn't get to the point where it gets all diluted and watered down and crappy and like the Marvel movies or something. I don't know, just too much of it. I hope not. But it's kind of looking that way, man. There's like 20 of them coming out, man. Yeah.
yeah. Well, I don't
It's
got the
kind of like
time.
back when VH1 did the behind the music. Now everybody's just turning them into movies, just I don't know.
Freaking A. All right, moving on. Here we go. This is an interesting little story. Uh, the first club, the club that Black Sabbath did their very first show in when they were back in the day, they were actually known as Earth. And it was at Henry's Blue House back in '68, which was upstairs inside the Crown Inn. And yeah, there's a picture of it right there. Very cool. Rounded front
Very, yeah,
end and
very
very,
English pub looking, yeah.
oh, yeah, come on, have a pint, one of them kind of things. But yeah, so they played their first gig there, and then it, oh boy, that thing's what the heck. It got bought by it got bought from a Japanese firm who just let it degrade massively.
It's an old ass building too, right? It's like 1800s, right? Like
Yeah, it's
1880,
way old.
1881, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So apparently they got them to sell back to back to the city, and it's been turned into what we would call over here in America what would you call it when you got that status, landmark status. They gave it pretty much landmark status so it couldn't be torn down, so it's going to be rebuilt or putting funds together right now. But the Japanese sold it back to them that they made them buy the parking garage next to it, which was worth
Right.
an arm and a leg. So they still got their money out of it, but those sneaky suckers. But yeah, they made it. It's in the historic England's listings, and they're going to put it back together. And this is quite a place, apparently. This club. They've had a whole bunch of people playing there. The Who have played there. Oh, where's the list? They had a whole bunch of people playing here, starting out their careers. So yeah, London's they're gonna save it. Status Quo played there. Thin Lizzy played there.
Yeah,
Judas Priest
yeah.
played there. So yeah, it's one of them places, and it looks like a thing. Quite honestly, it looks like it needs to be saved. You can't tear that down. Yeah, that's like you're right. No, that's like a classic pub. Imagine they're a second floor club
Oh,
and
that
first
place
floor
be
pub.
rocking, man.
Oh, baby. Wow, the Who? Yeah, are you kidding? Judas Priest? That's great. So good for them for saving, over here, we seem to tear down more statues and crap of our
Dude, we
history
don't.
than. Oh,
I was gonna say, I wish we would do that over here. We don't seem to hold things in reverence. Everything's about a
yeah.
buck over here, And perfect example is the CBGBs. I mean, this is the birthplace of alternative music. I should have worn my CBGB shirt today, but it's the birthplace of alternative music, man. That's like where it started. If any place should be, held up, and now it's a clothing store.
Oh,
And Hilly Crystal, the owner, oh god, it's been a while now, 2009, I want to say.
okay.
Couldn't keep up with the rent. It was like
Ah,
19 grand a month or some crap. Couldn't keep up with it, and booted them out. They got this high end clothing store in there now, and they say they've tried to keep the
the
ambiance
ambiance.
of, yeah. They kind of kept the walls. They put racks up
Yeah.
over the
Oh,
walls, but
oh, yeah.
the
Wow.
posters and stuff are still behind
While
all
you're
that stuff. I
buying a
guess.
pair of Sansabelt
Yeah, right.
slacks. Yeah, that's
Exactly. Yeah.
great.
Yeah. So only
That's
paid
great.
$200 for some jeans or something. Yeah, you can look at the.
But over there, yeah, 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 we need to preserve stuff like that. And then we do to a certain degree, but not enough. So good for them for saving that big old thing. Can imagine Earth playing there, just go. I wonder if Tony's fingers were crapped out by then. They already
That
went
was their
down.
first gig, probably not, because he
No,
was
you're
getting
right.
ready.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're right, because it was his last day of work before he was
yeah,
gonna
and
go
he was,
to the
yeah,
band and he
yeah.
sliced off his fingers. That's one hell of a last day of work there. Now. I've never even had a last day of work like that. That's classic. Man, oh man. Oh, here's another doozy. Where is he? There's Neil Young. We talked about this last year, the year before, when he was all pissed off at Joe Rogan because Joe Rogan was supposedly disseminating disinformation, which now we find out it wasn't disinformation. It was government disinformation, like the 6 foot thing, the 6 foot distance we had to keep from each other. That was all
Oh,
a fallacy.
bullshit. Yeah,
That was all
yeah,
bullshit.
yeah.
They just, oh, let's make it 6 feet. There was no science, you know, had
No.
people telling us, I'm the science. No, there was no science. So it's all bullshit. And Neil Young got pissed off back then. Well, I'm going to take myself off of Spotify because Joe Rogan's on it and I can't be on the same thing he's on. And so suddenly, a 180, he suddenly put, hey, I'm putting my music back on Spotify. I'm not a hypocrite. There's no hypocrisy in doing that. And his reasoning is really interesting. He says, because Joe Rogan's on everything now. Neil writes, my decision comes as other music services, Apple, Amazon, Cool Buzz, Tidal, all high resolution or high res have started serving the same different disinformation podcast I had opposed in Spotify because I cannot leave all those services like I did Spotify because my music would have no streaming outlet to music lovers at all. I have returned. What a hit. What a bunch of crap. A steaming bunch of crap. Yeah, come on. Call Rogan. Say to his face. No. Rogan wouldn't do anything because he'd kill him. Jeez, but good grief. Rogan's got isn't it like the most popular
Oh
podcast
yeah.
in
Oh, by
the
far. Yeah,
nation?
yeah, yeah,
Is
yeah,
it?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah. So
And
I
that's the
don't
thing
have
is he has people of all mindsets and
exactly.
beliefs on there. And if somebody's full of shit, he kind of calls them on it and questions people. And if if you've got something to say, he'll listen to you. And if you're full of shit, he'll kind of call
Call
you
it
out on it. So, but
not
yeah,
like this.
there's a lot to unpack here, man. It just tells me want money over principles, dude.
Yeah.
You're either against it or you're with it or whatever. You already made that move. You already made that decision. You're gonna pull yourself off of this streaming service because of this belief. Now just because everybody else is do one or the other, man. I mean, I can't respect that, man.
Well,
The other thing,
I,
it's just over his newer stuff because as his publishing rights or wherever, I don't know, kind of as they fall, it's just over the newer stuff. All the classic stuff that people want to hear anyway is going to
they're
be
gonna
on
hear.
there. Yeah. So it's just the newer stuff. And then how many people are going to Spotify to listen to Neil Young's newer stuff? If you're a Neil Young fan, I'm sure you're buying it. And if you're just casual fan, you're going to listen to the older stuff. So I can't
Well,
imagine
it's
you
just
don't make that
amazing.
much of a dent anyway.
He's
So
still claiming all this bullshit disinformation, and Okay, let's have a conversation. What disinformation are you talking about? Specifically, so we can sit down and talk about each point you think is wrong. I mean, really, there's no conversation. Joe ought to have
Right.
him on his podcast, but I'm sure Neil wouldn't show up. So,
Right.
I ain't going on your podcast. Me. No, because he wants to whine from the outer edges. Whine from the outer edges. Why don't you? I'm sure Rogan would have him. Come on, Neil Young, you freaking pussy. Well, really, if you're so damn Mister this, okay, well, call him out on it and say, Rogan, I want to come on your podcast. Otherwise, shut the f
Yeah,
up.
Rogan be cool, but I'd be like, all right,
Yes, he would. He would.
here's my facts as I see them, and Rogan say, well, no, whatever, pick
That
them
they could
apart or whatever.
discuss. No,
Yeah, and
you
they
got to
discuss
discuss
it.
this crap. You
Yeah,
can't just go back and forth from the
just the
upper
name
seats.
calling. No,
Name
I'll take
calling.
my
Yeah.
ball and go home. Yeah, let's take my ball and go
No,
home mentality is
the only way to make it right is really to get together and talk about it live, on his podcast. But I wish he would. I really wish he would, because that's one I'd be interested in watching. To
right.
really
Now
discuss it.
I catch Rogan from time to time, man, depending on the
Yeah,
guest,
it's
and
really
yeah, it's
Neil
pretty
Young
interesting.
throwing shit from the cheap seats. Oh, that's real easy. So why don't you have a
Yeah,
discussion with him and
yeah,
find out who's right and who's wrong?
yeah.
Problem solved. But nope,
Yeah,
can't have it. Neil wouldn't have that. Dang it. Oh, here's some
yeah,
other sour. You want to hear
yeah.
about some other sour
Southern
pusses?
man don't need him around anyhow.
Oh, there you go. Holy smokes. Yes, indeed. Where are we here? Come on. Bum, ba, da, bow. Yeah, this is interesting show. The South by Southwest Festival 2024. They had a whole bunch of Irish bands refuse. They pulled out of the festival because the army is one of the sponsors, uh, and they're all pissed off about it. Sponsorship from defense contractors is an act we find reprehensible. Well, okay, go
Well, yeah,
home.
it's sponsored by Army and defense contractor, and it sounds like they're kind of more opposed to defense contractor, or maybe they're just kind of disguising it that way. But
Who protects Ireland?
yeah,
Who protects Ireland? England?
right.
I don't think Ireland has an army, do they? Or maybe they do.
Well, I'm sure they do.
They got
Yeah.
the IRA, that army, IRA, but I don't know. Yeah, but really, give me a break. And so, yeah, a whole bunch of them started out. Now it ballooned up to like 60 acts of various whatever from Ireland have pulled out, including members of the groups Cardinals, Chalk, Enola Gay, Gurriers, and New
The
Dan.
band Enola Gay is
Yeah.
pulling out because of Army Association. Okay.
It just,
All
wow.
right. Yeah, there's
Has,
no irony there.
actually, more than 80 acts and panelists. Okay, well, panelists, you probably have 50 panelists coming in there telling how bad
And
of
they're all
people we
Irish.
are and
There's
all
that
this.
many Irish artists.
I don't know. Well, I don't know.
My God, man.
Labrini girls, Rachel Chinoriri, and Scowl. And by midweek, all Irish bands had pulled out. And of course, politics had to politics is totally involved. So the governor says, basically, yeah, goodbye. If you don't like it, don't come back, because we're a military state. We support our military. Blah blah blah. And if they
Yeah,
want to,
this is Austin, but it's still Texas. Yeah.
but nonetheless, if they want to raise a freaking stink, don't go after the army. Go after the boys up above them who are pulling the strings like freaking
That's
like we're
always the way, man.
marionettes, man. Like
Yeah.
we're freaking marionettes. Go talk to them. You think the guys in the army want to do all this crap? Fight these wars in other countries? Really? Ooh. Oh man, it's just amazing. But boy, oh boy. So I'm sure they'll still have enough acts in South by Southwest.
Oh God,
So
yeah, man. Every up and coming bands,
uh,
there is gonna want to be
yeah,
there.
they'll fill every spot.
If you got 80 or whatever was it, 80 Irish bands, I can't even
Yeah.
imagine there's
Or
that many
and well,
bands.
80 bands and panelists. So,
Oh, okay.
an
Well,
individual
nonetheless,
panelist,
even yeah.
but still. But
No, they'll
let
fill
them
it
have it.
easily, man. So
So that they can go back to Ireland, and that's all I've got
yeah,
to say about that. All right, moving on. Yeah, here's Here's a cool story I find interesting. We got Brian Johnson, lead singer of AC/DC, and Mark Knopfler, guitarist of the legendary Dire Straits, and they're putting out they got a little miniseries, a docu series coming out. Both of them, they're the stars of a new music docu series from Sky Arts, and it's going to be titled Johnson and Knopfler's Music Legends. Going to be 6 1-hour episodes starting in April. Oh, over in the UK, and then coming over here on the Now channel, which I've never heard of. But it's going to follow Johnson and Knopfler as they interact and explore the legacies of 6 music legends. Tom Jones. Oh, now that'll be interesting.
Sir Tom
Sir,
Jones.
that'll be hella interesting there.
Dude,
Sam
imagine the
Fender.
stories that guy's got, man.
Oh my
Honestly,
God.
man.
Oh, I actually saw him singing. Uh, what it appears
Oh
to
yeah, he
be a
still
long
got it,
time.
man. He belts it out like.
Appears he was singing with Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young.
All
That's
right.
it appears to be a long time, and his voice. It was just it just
I know.
It took you had Crosby, Stills, and Nash behind you, and you hardly knew it because his voice was just. And of course, he
Yeah.
sang it perfectly and stunningly.
Yeah.
So they're going to have him, Sam Fender, which whatever,
He's a new guy. Yeah.
Cindy Lauper.
Yeah.
There's an interesting story. Nile Rodgers, same thing, and
Uh,
Carlos Santana and Emmylou Harris. So how
so yeah,
about that? And
pretty good range of folks there.
the
Yeah.
first episode's going to be Tom Jones. So that right there will be worth it because imagine the stories that crooner has. Jiminy creepers. So yeah.
He was the original women throwing panties on stage guy, man. That was like the thing with him. He was the first guy where that was going on, man. So
Oh my
yeah.
gosh. That's amazing. But yeah, so the description of the program, guests, including Sir Tom Niles, blah, 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 will share stories from their own careers and discuss the tracks that shaped them as musicians and fans. Mark and Brian do the same, painting a fascinating portrait of their shared musical lives. And you look at the picture there, it looks like they enjoy each other's company quite a bit.
It's such an
So
odd pairing,
it
man. You
is,
know,
isn't it though?
Brian Johnson's like a good old bloke down at the pub, and
Hey,
Knopfler seems
Mark,
like
how
a
you doing?
studious kind of guy,
His voice
yeah.
all, Mark, how you doing? His voice can't hardly talk. That's just crazy cool. Ah, Brian, how's it going, man? Mark's probably still got that. Yeah, that Dire Straits voice. Hey, there's Mark. Yeah. Or there's Brian. Yeah, so very cool on them. Very cool. And we'll see how that works out. But I've never heard of the Now channel, so I'm sure it'll show up somewhere.
Oh,
We
there's
got
so many
Jeez, I
streaming
know. Oh
services, and
gosh,
it's
that drives me
impossible to keep
nuts,
up with.
Doc.
Yeah,
There's too much streaming stuff.
there's
We're
one
geezers,
popping up as we speak, dude. I'm
I'm a
sure of
geezer,
it.
Doc. I am a geezer, and I just can't take all this technology crap. I got Sling TV myself. Okay, it's like okay, I got Sling TV. I'll just leave it at that. But
You know what I
half
do?
of the stuff I'd like to.
I bounce around. I go from one, and I'll kind of like watch everything on there I'm interested in and I want to watch. And then I like Netflix. Then I got off of that, and then went Amazon
Well, see,
Prime and did it.
I don't have any of them though because
Currently
they
I'm
cost
on
money.
Paramount Plus, and
Oh,
but you get them short term like that, man. I'm on
but yeah, there's
Paramount
too
Plus,
many of
and
them. There's too
watch
many.
what's on there. Yeah.
It fries my mind, Doc. I can't take it. There's so damn
Yeah,
many.
I just like watching different music documentaries and things like that, and just kind of
Uh,
hop around different services
wow.
for those.
So
So
yeah, well, in any case, yeah, that's gonna be a cool show to check out for sure. Oh, is this one? Is this what I'm thinking it is? Oh, it is. Here he is, Bruno Mars. Hey, gosh, everybody loves a success story. Bruno Mars, an amazing success story, and he's one of the fortunate entertainers that gets to do residencies at the legendary Sin City, Las Vegas. We've talked about a lot of bands do residencies, and of course the latest big thing is residencies at the Sphere. But bands have been band singers, Frank, Dean, Sammy, they've all been doing residencies since forever. By
Yeah, it
God.
was a different kind of thing back then, though. I mean, they
Oh,
were, they kind of built Vegas with that. Now
well, they
it's, I don't
basically
know.
owned it. Yeah, yeah, they
Yeah.
owned yeah, 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 yeah. Try and mess with Frank, and they're going to be trouble in Vegas. But
Got chunks of
anyway,
guys like you in a stool.
Chunk, that's right. Yeah, I got, and I don't have to repeat that. Perfect, Doc. Yeah, and by golly, he's so successful. Bruno is that he's entering his ninth year performing at his residency, and you're thinking,
And
man,
you got to think, yeah, why would somebody have to spend 9 years in
oh,
a
well, there's a
residency in
problem.
Vegas?
The first line of the article says Bruno Mars reportedly owes MGM Grand Casino $50 million in gambling debt.
Wow.
$50 million.
How does it get to
Wow.
that much? How does it get to that?
Wow.
How is his credit that good? Yeah, 50 million, yeah, 30 million. Yeah, I'll throw another five on. It gets to 50 million, man. How? I don't
Why
know.
ain't he taking it out of his damn pocket anyway? But yeah, it says here he's Mars is set to enter his ninth year performing in residency in Las Vegas. But according to News Nation, the singer is paying off his debts to MGM. That's what they got him. They got him by the short hairs there,
Dude,
Doc.
that's like indentured servitude, man. It's like, yeah.
Yeah, a well-placed Vegas insider has reported that Mars, quote, owes millions to them from gambling, alleging the total comes close to $50 million. And they went on to say that Mars apparently makes 90 million off of the deal he makes with the casino, but after paying off his debts and taxes, this can't be right. Takes home 1.5 million per night. Wait a minute. Wow. Really? No,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
wow.
that could
1
be.
but he's still 50 million. And of course, MGM and Mars, they did
I
not.
feel a little less sorry for him. He's still doing okay. Yeah, he owes 50 mil, but he's still doing all right.
Yeah, I gotta imagine, there, there was one comment that said something like, "Well, I hope he got his his free room, his upgraded free room for when they repossess his house."
Right? Oh, he's gonna
Man,
get comped a room, yeah.
well, there's some people that just shouldn't be around Vegas. They're just
You know, just
wow.
another reason why I don't like the residencies, man. They're luring these it's corrupting these otherwise moral and fine young rock stars,
Doggone you,
and
Vegas.
corrupting them in their sinful ways.
Oh, you
But
got that right.
no,
Wow. That's amazing though. But yeah, yeah, shame on you, Bruno. They got Gamblers Anonymous. You see it on the
on
gambling
everything, yeah,
commercials at the
yeah,
bottom if they says
yeah.
got a gambling problem, call blah blah blah.
1-800 gambler,
Maybe
yeah.
you ought to maybe you ought to throw some money their way there, Bruno, because wow, doggone
Yeah,
it.
50 million, dude. You're either like you gotta be a horrible gambler. You get
Well,
50
imagine what
million
that
in
could have
debt,
done.
man.
But imagine, I
No
don't know where he
doubt,
comes
man.
from, and, in his hometown. That 50 million. Imagine the good that money could have done in his
No
hometown.
doubt,
I
man.
mean, come on, you're a one percenter. You may not be now, but you were a one percenter, and boy, America's got to depend on the one percenters to start doing stuff like this.
And now I just
Boy,
blew it to MGM. It's like
wow, yeah, freaking
I'd like to
gambling.
know what is like all at the crap tables or what he's blowing this on, man. What is he so horrible at? You know,
Oh
poker. I
boy.
mean, hey, I'll play poker with Bruno Mars, man. Sure, yeah.
I went to the casino in Aurora once and played the slots and won $75. And then I came out and my vehicle was gone. They had towed it. I had parked in the wrong place, and it cost exactly $75 to get my vehicle back then. So hey, boom, I broke even, but I never went back. So sorry, Bruno apparently went back. So holy schmokums! Wow, that
Wow,
is a chunk of cash.
that just blows my mind.
Speaking of another mind blowing duel, there they are, Mike Tyson and Maynard James Keenan. How about that? Seems that we all know about the Tool singer Maynard, black belt in judo, jiu-jitsu, one of
Yeah,
those.
Brazilian
Brazil,
jiu-jitsu. Yeah,
one of the yeah, that's right, BJJ, Brazilian jiu-jitsu. He's a black belt, and it seems that, and I'm sure a lot of us have heard out there that Mike Tyson is going to be fighting Jake Paul, believe it or not, which is unbelievable. Boy, I'm going to steal that pay per view for sure. But anyway,
No,
Maynard
you
James.
won't. You're gonna pay just like
Oh,
everyone
you're
else,
right.
aren't you, Murph?
You
Yes,
know, I am because I'm an honest guy, Doc.
that's right.
Good. Thanks for reminding me on that. Thanks for helping me remember my core. Appreciate that, brother. Okay, moving on though. Yeah, Maynard James Keenan's helping train Mike Tyson. Oh, that's got to be the best thing ever. And there, of course, it says here, let's just go through it. Maynard James, blah, blah, helping Mike Tyson get in shape for his upcoming boxing match against Jake Paul. That's right. The Tool singer and his colleagues at his Verde Valley BJJ Martial Arts School. So he's got his own black belt school, too.
Yeah, okay.
Have been training Iron Mike in advance of the July 20th bout. Oh, that's got to be great. And you know darn well, after they train and stuff, and they've had a nice meal, Maynard will fire up a nice glass of his wine, and Tyson will fire up a nice cone of his smoke. You know that because yeah, Tyson's got his own brand of pot, and Maynard's got a winery, I believe.
That's
So
right. Yes,
these
yeah, we
cats,
report on that. Yeah,
oh,
there you go. Yeah,
that's cat. They look great there, man. Look at Maynard. He looks proud as hell in that picture. Going against the champ. Nobody should fight the champ anymore.
it's just there's another odd pairing, and yeah, it's just like what I'm trying to think what would draw them in together, other than just training at that age. They're both about that.
Right,
We're all about the same age. Mine like 59. I think Tyson's a couple years younger, like 57. I think.
right.
But, just being at that age and training at a high level, I guess maybe Maynard would have something to offer as far as that goes. But
Boy, that's so cool though.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
so cool.
yeah.
But I still think Tyson will just tear him apart. It's the right to the body and then the uppercut. Boom, boom, boom. I mean, holy cow.
Before
He's
he
he.
got caught up in all the crap and everything, man, he was invincible. He really was, man. He
Oh
was
yeah.
the baddest of all time. He really truly was,
Oh
man.
yeah.
Yeah,
When Customato had him, holy smokums, he'd
right.
come out with just his black shorts, no socks, just his little boxing shoes and black shorts. That's it.
And,
No,
and he
no,
came out. He didn't have a robe. He had a
no.
towel with a slit
Towel.
on it, and
That's
that was
right.
it. That was
Boom,
it,
boom, come
man.
out there and just wreak total destruction. Oh
For
my
about 90 seconds, and that would be over. Yeah.
God. Oh, that was so great. So that's going to be a great fight to watch. And good for you, Maynard. Man, oh man. Really total respect, man. The guy's what do you call them? Does everything like the singer for
Renaissance man.
Renaissance man,
Yeah.
just like the singer for Iron Maiden,
Yeah.
man,
Bruce
Renaissance
Dickinson.
man.
Yeah. Yeah.
So good for that. That'll be very cool. I can't wait to check that fight out. And I'll pay for it, Doc. I'll let you know, man, so we can watch it, boy. Okay, you've talked me into paying for it though, man. You're something, dude.
Oh,
Wow.
I did. You always do. You do the right thing.
Oh, Lemmy. Gosh, Lemmy's ashes. There they
There we
are, right
go.
there. There's his bullet right there.
This
By
week's
golly.
episode of Lemmy's Ashes.
Yes, Lemmy's ashes. For one thing, they're getting moved all over. They've been distributed all over. I wonder if they could clone his ashes so they could have more of them to move even to more people and more bullets. Maybe have a little bit of Lemmy in every one of
Or
our
dilute it down with other ashes so they can spread it out more. I don't know.
yeah, have them in every one of
And
our
maybe throw in
military's
some of his clothes or
armaments.
something there or something. Yeah.
Gotta have Lemmy's ashes. But apparently Lemmy's ashes are going to be displayed annually at UK's Bloodstock Festival. How about that? Bloodstock, by arrangement with Motorhead Management, have announced that our legendary late great Lemmy Kilmister will be permanently memorialized at the Heavy Metal Festival. Some of Lemmy's ashes will be housed at Bloodstock, one of only a few places globally, in a unique urn, with the festival commissioning a bust of Lemmy to incorporate the ashes. And that way, fans will be able to view the installation and pay tribute to Lemmy and his legacy on site. Holy smoke. And once the festival is over, the bust of Lemmy will move to Nottingham's Rock City venue, where fans will have access to the ashes. But they will return each and every year to their primary home on the hallowed turf of Bloodstock at Cotton Park. There, boy, Lemmy, jeez, wow.
There's Lemmy monuments everywhere, man. They got his ashes they got a little statue at the Walking Festival. They got one at the Hellfest Festival in France.
Oh, Lord, and a bunch of
We
people
got
got
statues.
bullets.
We just talked about the statue in his hometown of Trent on Stoke, or what is it, Stoke on Trent, or
Trotting in the Stoke
whatever.
blather. Yeah, I
You
don't
got
know.
the statue at the Rainbow there. You got the
Oh,
100 bullets with his ashes that have been distributed to everybody from
yeah,
Rob Halford to you name it, to everybody.
I don't know.
So yeah, it's
I don't
like
know about that.
I
Yeah,
feel like we should have some kind of Lemmy shrine
maybe,
going, man. It's
maybe.
like
I
everybody's got
wish we
something
could
going
clone
there,
his ashes, like I said.
right?
Damn it. Oh well. But yeah, I don't. Personally, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with spreading your ashes all over the place. They should be
It's pretty
kept.
wild.
They should be as well. My ashes will be kept together, although they will be spread across a hillside, a hilltop, but not all over the world and stuff. They should, it's not like, well, okay, I'm gonna have a regular burial. I'll tell you what, send my hand over to so and then send my
Right?
foot over here. And no, no, no. You keep everything together, and mine's gonna end up being a perennial patch, a perennial garden. So I'm very happy about that. But anyway, yeah, well, Lemmy, okay, they can't get enough of Lemmy. Seems like they keep coming up with more ashes to do
Yeah, this
more
is
stuff
going
with.
on. Well, he died in December of 15, so we're going on eight plus
Wow,
years. Coming up on 9 years. So this
holy
stuff's still
smokes!
coming up. So yeah, he's one of those guys. Like we say it every time, man. He's one of those guys.
One of those dudes. All right, last item of the day. I thought this was interesting. Look at that. Look at that. There's a young Judas Priest right there. Holy cow. Halford still had hair. My gosh. Just a crazy looking bunch. But an article came up. It was the only original member, Ian Hill. He's the only original member, actually, from the start of the
He
band.
started it with KK.
Oh, that's right. No,
Well, KK's no longer in it, so he's not. Yeah, but
Oh, right. Yeah, yeah. But he was talking about, what his favorite Judas Priest song was. And what a monster catalog to pull from. And I was thinking he's got to pull something earlier, from the day. And I was thinking, here we are right here. Could it be Rockarola? I thought, nah. Could it be their
no,
second one? See, Rockarola, a real basic, not really exciting debut album. It
no,
was just sort of there, and somehow they
no, they
just
didn't catch
stepped it
anybody's
up
attention with that. Yeah,
monstrally from here to Sad Wings of Destiny. Amazing,
just gave that a spin recently, and amazed at the
yeah,
the range of songs on there, and just yeah, it's a good
stunningly
one.
amazing.
It
So I
holds up
thought,
quite
well,
well.
maybe
Yes.
maybe you'll pull something from there, but I figured he'd be pulling something from Sin After Sin or Stay in Class. I got the first four. That's what I consider their prime area because they went too pop metal after that. But he pulled Dissident Aggressor from Sin After Sin, and I can't complain about that. I myself, that's hard. I would almost go Sinner. Sinner is so, it's like a freight train that hits a brick wall. I mean, it just it just it's just a crazy crazy good song. Although Let Us Pray, Call for the Priest, another couple of really this jeez. And I know you say, yeah, the later ones, there were some good ones, but to me, it was more basic songs, whereas these early songs, they were all over the place, like Sinner, like a Victim of Changes, just, changes, mood changes, everything. Whereas their newer stuff was just basically, like I call them, basically pop metal,
They were kind of
living after midnight. I mean, that's not
to me,
metal
they
at
were
all.
kind of a victim of the '80s. Kind of, they were this great band, man. Like you say, man, all that early stuff, and then British Steel. Even to me, British Steel is a great album. That was my
Yeah.
starting point with Judas Priest, and I kind of went, I kind of kept up, but while going back, and yeah, they definitely, got the '80s, way too much, Turbo Lover and all that kind of crap. And, just,
Yeah.
once I got into Screaming for Vengeance, had some pretty good hits on there, but was it Point of Entry and, those kind of albums. And then, Defenders of the Faith, that's kind of when they really started losing me. But, just, kind of different bands. It kind of, what happened to a lot of bands once they got into the 80s and they got about selling records and they got established. And not only that, but they were kind of pigeonholed. You're this kind of band. You're a
Yeah.
metal band, and this is the metal sound, and this is what you have to do now. And like I said, those early albums, man, Sad Wings of Destiny, man. There's
Well,
all kinds of music,
Diamonds and Rust off of
man.
Sin After Sin. They turned
Joan
Baez's
Baez
song
song,
into
yeah.
just a killer effort. But
Green
yeah, there,
Manalishi, man,
yeah,
Fleetwood
there you
Mac
go
song,
again.
man. Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely. But man, oh man. But it is what it is. Better by You, Better Than Me. That's on the Stained Class. That was by Spooky Tooth.
That was the song they got sued for.
Was it?
That the kids that killed themselves apparently were listening
Oh,
to Judas Priest,
okay.
and
Oh
you
yeah, that was
know
nonsense for
that
sure.
started the whole satanic panic back in the 80s.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, well, it
Well,
didn't
welcome
work.
to another episode of Judas Priest Talk, folks.
Well, there you
Way
go
to get
though.
off
But
on a tangent about Priest for sure, man.
when
But
it
yeah,
comes to when it comes to favorite Judas Priest, yeah, the earlier stuff, and on the article, I saw I looked at some of the comments, and a lot of it was the newer stuff, which you can imagine because you're old. If you ain't old like me, you know, you don't have the old stuff's
well, that's
not
just like I
really in
said.
your
That's when they were popular, and that's what got pushed. And
well.
I can't think too many people probably went back further than Hellbent for Leather, maybe.
Well, I'll tell you.
And that'd be about it.
Well, in back in the '70s, there was a station we talked about this at Beaker Street out of Little Rock, Arkansas, and at like 11 o'clock at night they would change their signal. So in Chicago, we could hear this AM signal, and Beaker Street they played all these crazy songs. I remember hearing the early Judas Priest on there. That's what got me hooked. So I went out right away and bought Sad Wings and Sin After Sin, and boom, all the rest is history. But freaking A, good for them, and they're probably still on tour. KK, hell, he was in our area last week. I didn't even know it.
Yeah. They played the arcade just last
Yeah,
weekend.
okay, oh geez. But nonetheless, that's all good. It's gonna be a good like I say, first day of spring. Summer's looking good. We got some good shows coming up. Man, oh man, gonna be a killer summer. So thanks a lot, folks, for stopping by. Once again, it's some crazy weird rock stuff, and we always wonder, boy, what's going to happen this week. And, is there going to be enough to even talk about? And it always ends up with a bunch of crazy stuff going on. So we're always happy to see that. So thanks a lot for stopping by, and be sure to subscribe if you haven't. Give us a like, give us a comment, tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell strangers. Why not? But anyway, hey, why don't you take us home there, Doc? Eh?
Absolutely. Again, excuse me. Again, thanks for checking in. It's first time. Thanks for finding us. That's always tough, but please subscribe so you don't lose us. And we do this every week, and we'll be back next Monday with a whole new batch. I don't know why I do that. I don't know why. But, it just seems like a natural thing to do. But anyway, we'll be back. Whatever the rock world throws our way, we'll have it for you next Monday. So until then, have a great rock and roll filled week, everybody.